Aloha, thanks for being here. I'm the happiest hobbyist, and today we're going to talk about the Zoom Q2n 4K camera for musicians. I'll tell you some of my impressions I've had using it for the past few months, and tell you some of the issues I've had and how I've dealt with them. So without further ado, let's get started. So here we have it. This is the Zoom Q2n. It's marketed as the camera for musicians. It's got great sound due to the condenser mics right here, XY mics, and great picture too. Today I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've used it a bit. I've taken it to the zoo. I've used it at home with my drums and had some friends by, played some music, and mostly I really love it. So since we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I always want to end on a positive note, we're going to start with the bad and move on from there. Okay, so we're going to start off with one issue I have with the Q2n, which if you've watched any other videos, you probably have heard about this one before. The battery life of the Q2n is absolutely terrible. It won't take you anywhere. So what you need to do is you need an external power source of some sort. There's one way to fix it. You can also record with audio only, which is great, you know, if that's what if your important aspect that you're recording is the audio and you don't need the video, that's great. It saves you a lot of battery power. There is an issue with using the external source, which I'll get into after I tell you the next issue I had with the Q2n, which was the small screen. There's an LCD screen on the back. I'll show that to you. I think I figured out how to do that right there. That's a bit small for me. I can't see it. I stick on the reading glasses. I'll show you my reading glasses. I put on the reading glasses, and I know it looks very cool, but I still can't see. But again, that's not a difficult thing to deal with. I simply use a cable from the mini HDMI port and take it out to a computer or to a television monitor, and that works just fine. I'm able to see what I'm doing and set it up. Now, I was saying I would tell you a little more about an issue with the battery, the small battery life, later, and we're going to get back to that right now, because the issue comes in that if you need to use the monitor and an external battery source at one time, it's a very big issue. The way it's lined up, you can't fit both of those, well, I can't fit both of my cables in properly. Now, I live in Hawaii. I have limited access to electronics. I don't have a Best Buy on the corner or even a Radio Shack. It's kind of a bummer. But I have found what I needed. I can show you right here now, but I think I'm also going to try to put that in a bubble. Yeah, what happens is that these two parts have to go onto the thingy, you know, the camera, and they go like this. So that doesn't work. I don't know. I'll try to show you in the bubble. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the bad stuff of the Q2n. I am going to move on to, well, worse. So, the Q2n, I've had it for a number of months. I've used it to play some music. I see the drums behind me. I like to play some drums. I've had some people over a couple times and made some noise and recorded it. It sounds pretty good. Great. Then I decided very recently that I would start a YouTube channel, and I'm gonna meet the world. I'm gonna do some stuff. Do something that scares me every day. So, here we go. That's where I get into where it gets really nasty with this Zoom, and I have to complain big time. But I'm the happiest hobbyist, so it's going to come back around, don't you worry. I do have one big complaint, though. So I made my very first YouTube video, and after all the advice I was given, they say make a video of something that you're very familiar with, and, you know, whatever, something easy. So I went with something I do all the time. I have a jump rope workout. I spend an hour, I jump rope, I do some pull-ups. It's what I do. It's very simple. So I'm thinking I have these cameras, and I've got a way to record it, and it's going to be great. And, well, I wasn't thinking it was going to be that great, but I was thinking it'd be good enough. So I recorded. I had all these different angles, and I think the sound was good. It was pretty nice. I was impressed. I made like a 15-minute long video, and I was pleased with it. But when I went to edit the Zoom footage into it, I learned that the Zoom footage records MOV files. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I pronounce it. And it's not compatible with the other stuff I was doing. So what I did is I ended up getting a converter for the files, and which literally took me days. I got a converter, I put it onto my laptop, I converted the files, and here's the worst that I can possibly say about this, and honestly it could very well be my lack of experience and knowledge. But I converted all these videos to MP4. Yeah, MP4 to be compatible with the rest and edit it in. And when I converted it, there's a glitch. There's just this crazy glitch. So it like sputters. I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to show that too, right there. And then maybe I'll fill the whole screen with it. I don't know. I'm trying new stuff. So that is actually going to lead us into all the good stuff I'm going to say about the Zoom, because there's plenty of good to say about it. And I'm actually going to start with that crazy glitch, because I will say I got to laugh. I laughed till there were tears streaming down my face. That is the cutest, funniest thing I've ever seen, is me doing, like, jumping like I'm doing a can-can. I love it. So it was a terrible thing to happen, but it's my first video. That's alright, and I got a good laugh out of it. But we're going to move on to the good parts of the Q2n. And I'm going to check my notes. Hold on. Okay, so I already told you about the funny glitch. There's also, can't say anything bad about the picture quality. It's great. There's several settings for your lighting. I've noticed that it's apparently always sunset in my house, in my living room. Okay. Lots of options for that. There's lots of options for your angle. I can actually, this is a huge room, and I can get all of the room, or I can get a little of the room close up, tight on me on the drums, however I want. It's a good picture. Also, of course, they bill it as the camera for musicians because it has excellent sound. Obviously it has excellent sound. Zoom knows what they're doing when it comes to recording and quality audio. And they have just another good product right here with the Zoom Q2n. I'm very pleased, can't complain about it. Another plus for it, being a hobbyist myself and being a drummer, I record a lot. And for years, I've recorded with phones and tape players and anything I can find, and it just sounds muddy and horrible and yucky. Well, now I can finally record at home. I don't hate the sound of my own drums. And I've even found that there's a couple sweet spots where I really like to set up the camera, and it sounds great. So when I stick it on audio only for certain sweet spots, it's just fantastic. So, as a hobbyist, as a drummer, as a new YouTuber, I guess, I would say it's a great camera. I would buy it again. I would definitely not take it out, you know, like an action camera. It's not an action camera. It doesn't have image stabilization. You have to turn it on and off. If you're out in the world, you can't just leave it on or your battery's going to die. So it's excellent for what it's for, I believe. I have taken it to drum circles. It's recorded very well. I wish I could show you some footage, but until I figure out how to work with MOV files on a PC, we're out of luck. So anyway, that's what I have to say about the Zoom Q2n. I'm glad you came by. I'm glad I got to explain that crazy stuff that happened in my last video. And I will catch you next time. Aloha.